The kiss that changed everything. The cold metal floor vibrated beneath his boots as Commander Jace Halden stepped into the great chamber. The air was thick with tension, electric and unfamiliar. He had faced dangers on distant planets before, but nothing like this. No briefing had prepared him for what awaited. Ahead, 7 figures stood in a semicircle, each radiating a quiet, undeniable power. They were the 7 sisters of the alien Karith race, the most mysterious and feared family in the galaxy. Their faces were striking, almost otherworldly, with eyes like polished obsidian, reflecting the dim light. Jace's mission was simple: establish peaceful contact, negotiate terms for an alliance, avoid war at all costs. But then, before he could speak a word, the youngest sister stepped forward. She moved with grace, a sharp contrast to the cold severity around her. Her gaze locked on Jace's, and without warning she reached up and pressed her lips to his. The room froze. Jace's heart hammered. His mind reeled. What was this? A greeting? An insult? A challenge? Suddenly, the air shimmered with an invisible force, and alien elders, who had been silent watchers in the shadows, stepped forward. Their voices echoed in the chamber, cold and unforgiving. By ancient law, the one who kisses the youngest sister is bound to marry all 7. Jace blinked, his breath caught in his throat. What did that even mean? The youngest sister smiled, softly, but there was no warmth in it. You have sealed your fate, human. Before Jace could react, the eldest sister, tall and commanding, stepped forward. There is no escape. The pact is binding. Refusal means exile and death. Panic surged through Jace's veins. He glanced at the 6 other sisters, each watching him silently, waiting. "You're telling me," Jace stammered, "that because she kissed me, I'm now married to all of you?" The chamber erupted with a low murmur, but no one denied it. Jace's training kicked in. This was no simple cultural custom. It was a law, ancient and deadly serious. "Why?" he asked, voice tight. "Why this law?" The eldest sister's gaze was unreadable. "It is not just marriage, it is survival." Before Jace could demand more answers, an elder approached him with a device. "You must choose. Accept the pact or be cast out." Jace's mind raced. His home planet Earth was far away. If he refused, he would be trapped alone on an alien world, isolated and hunted. The youngest sister stepped closer again, her voice low. "You do not understand yet, but soon you will." His eyes locked on hers, and a strange mix of fear and curiosity flooded his chest. Jace's world had just shifted forever. The chamber doors sealed shut behind him with a deep hum. There was no turning back. Outside the chamber, whispers spread quickly. The human was now part of their ancient tradition. The galaxy would watch. Jace's own heart pounded louder than the silence around him. What had he gotten himself into? Was this some trick or a desperate plea for survival? He glanced back at the youngest sister, who now stood quietly, watching him like a guardian or a warden. 1,000 questions flooded his mind, but only one certainty remained. His life, as he knew it, was over. Suddenly, a loud chime echoed, and an alien attendant motioned for Jace to follow. He walked down long corridors, filled with strange symbols, glowing faintly on the walls. The reality of the situation settled over him like a weight. Married to 7 alien sisters. Forced by law. No escape. The first step into the unknown had begun. Later, in a small chamber, Jace sat alone, trying to collect his thoughts. The youngest sister appeared silently, sitting beside him. "Why me?" he asked. She looked away, her eyes distant. "Because you are human, because you carry something we need." Jace frowned. "What?" She hesitated. "Our world is dying. The pact was created to save us. You are part of that now." Jace's mind spun. He wanted answers, but more than that, he wanted time. But time was a luxury he did not have. As the chamber door slid shut behind her, Jace was left with one thought. He had kissed the youngest sister, and now his fate was sealed. Cliffhanger ending. What does the marriage pact truly mean? What secret does the youngest sister hold? And can a human survive bound by an alien? Law centuries old? The Seven Sisters' secret. The soft hum of the alien corridors echoed as Commander Jace Holden followed the attendant deeper into the heart of the Karith stronghold. The walls shimmered faintly, adorned with intricate symbols that pulsed with an eerie light. Each step seemed to carry the weight of the impossible truth he was forced to confront. He was now bound by an ancient, alien law to marry 7 sisters. 7 enigmatic women whose lives were wrapped in secrets and shadows. Jace's mind raced. How could this be real? What did this law truly mean? And most urgently, who were these sisters he was to be joined? With the head, the attendant stopped and gestured toward a large chamber. The doors slid open silently, revealing 7 figures waiting inside. The room was bathed in a soft, pale light that seemed to come from nowhere, illuminating the sisters standing side by side, yet each utterly distinct. The youngest sister, the one who had kissed him, was at the center. Her dark eyes held a strange mixture of defiance and sorrow. Beside her, the others ranged from regal to fierce, mysterious to playful, but all possessed an undeniable alien grace. Jace swallowed hard. This was no ordinary marriage. The eldest sister, tall and commanding, stepped forward. "Welcome, human. This is your new family." Jace's eyes scanned each face carefully. The second sister, with silver hair cascading like liquid moonlight, studied him curiously. Her voice was calm but held an edge. "Do you understand what you have agreed to?" He shook his head slowly. "No. Not yet." The third sister, sharp-eyed and shorter than the rest, stepped closer. "You will learn. This law binds you to all 7 of us. It is our way, our survival." Jace's heart pounded. Why survival? What survival? Before the eldest sister could reply, the fourth sister raised a delicate hand. Her skin shimmered with a faint pattern, almost like living circuitry. "Our people have suffered," she said quietly. "Long ago, a catastrophe nearly wiped us out. This pact, this marriage, is more than tradition. It is a bond that keeps us alive." Jace's brow furrowed. "A bond? Between you all? And me?" "Yes," the fifth sister answered softly, her voice like a gentle wind. "You are the missing piece." He stared, trying to digest the words. The sixth sister, tall and regal with piercing blue eyes, regarded him silently. When she spoke, her voice was grave. "You carry the blood of an ancient ancestor, one who shared a connection with our species. It is why the youngest chose you." Jace shook his head in disbelief. "That's impossible." The seventh sister, quiet and mysterious, smiled faintly. "Nothing is impossible in this universe." The room fell silent for a moment, the weight of the revelation sinking in. Jace's mind was spinning. He had been sent here as a diplomat, a messenger from Earth, not to become a living part of an alien culture's survival plan. "Why me?" he demanded. "There must be thousands of humans. Why me? What do you want from me?" The youngest sister, the one who had kissed him, stepped forward. Her eyes held an intensity that cut through the confusion. "You hold the key to restoring our race," she said simply. "But the process will not be easy. You must prove yourself worthy." Jace swallowed, feeling the walls closing in. "Prove myself? How?" A gentle laugh escaped the third sister. "Through trust, understanding, and sacrifice." Suddenly, the youngest sister's smile faded. "But there are dangers you do not yet know." Before Jace could respond, the doors slid shut, sealing them inside. The atmosphere thickened as the sisters exchanged meaningful glances. Jace realized this was only the beginning. Over the next hours, Jace learned more of their world. The Carith. Sisters shared stories, fragments of a tragic past, and desperate hope for the future. Their race was scattered across the stars, ravaged by an unknown plague that altered their biology. The marriage pact was a desperate attempt to unify their strength and genetic heritage. By bonding with one chosen human, an ancestor's descendant, they hoped to revive their people. Jace felt a strange pull toward each sister, despite his fear and skepticism. The eldest sister, Arena, was fierce and protective, carrying the burden of leadership. The silver-haired Lyra was wise and calculating. The shortest, Rena, was sharp and fiercely loyal. The fourth, Sarah, held a mysterious power linked to their bioengineered survival. The gentle Maya carried hope in her soft voice. The regal, icy Naya guarded secrets with piercing blue eyes, and finally, the youngest, Talia, the one who had sealed his fate with a kiss. Each sister seemed to hold a piece of the puzzle, but also guarded parts of themselves. Jace noticed subtle tension simmering beneath their calm exterior, a hidden conflict threatening to unravel their fragile unity. Late that night, unable to sleep, Jace wandered the corridors alone. He stumbled upon a hidden chamber, dimly lit and filled with alien artifacts. There he overheard whispered voices. A shadowy figure approached, an elder who had been watching from the sidelines. "You know too much now," the elder hissed. "Be careful who you trust." Jace's heart hammered. What is this law really about? The elder's eyes darkened. It is a desperate gambit. The sisters' bond is a fragile lifeline, but there are those among us who see it as weakness. They plot rebellion. Jace felt the weight of the danger pressing in. The pact was not only a survival strategy, but a political powder keg. He returned to his quarters, mind racing. The next morning, the sisters gathered again, but the atmosphere was tense. Talia looked at Jace with urgency. "We must move quickly. The rival faction grows bolder." Arena's voice was sharp. "If the pact fails, our people die." Jace nodded, slowly. "Then I want to understand everything. I want to help." Lyra smiled faintly. "You have no choice now." Jace's eyes hardened with determination. The chapter closed with a chilling warning from Talia. "Trust no one outside this room. Your enemies are closer than you think. Shadows within the pact." The chamber was silent except for the faint hum of alien technology. Commander Jace Holden stood among the 7 Carith sisters, each a living enigma wrapped in secrets. The weight of the ancient marriage pact pressed on him like an iron shackle. Every glance they exchanged hinted at untold stories and unspoken tensions. The warning from Talia, "Trust no one outside this room," echoed in Jace's mind. But the truth was more complicated. Sometimes the greatest danger wasn't from strangers, but from those closest to you. Jace spent the following days learning more about the sisters, their culture, and the fragile threads holding their pact together. He discovered that the Carith race was not only fighting a biological plague, but was also caught in a political web that threatened to tear them apart. One afternoon, while walking through the stronghold's gardens, a rare splash of green, amid the alien architecture, Jace found himself alone with Rena, the sharp-eyed third sister. She was different from the others, quieter, more cautious. "You're trying to understand everything," she said softly, her voice carrying a hint of suspicion. "But there are things even the sisters don't tell each other." Jace met her gaze. "Like what?" Rena hesitated, then lowered her voice. "There's a faction within our people who believe the pact is a mistake. They think relying on a human is weakness." Jace frowned. "You mean they want to break the pact?" She nodded slowly. "Yes, and they're growing stronger." Before Jace could ask more, a sudden alarm blared throughout the stronghold. Red lights flashed. "The rebels have launched an attack," Rena said grimly. Jace's heart raced. "How many?" Rena shook her head. "Enough to threaten us all." The sisters quickly gathered in the command chamber. Rena, the eldest, took charge. "We must defend the pact," she said firmly. "This isn't just about survival, it's about unity." Jace noticed tension in the room. The sisters were not just bonded by law, but by necessity, and fragile. "Trust." Suddenly Talia entered, her face pale. "They've breached the outer defenses." Panic flickered in Jace's chest. This was no longer a political struggle. It was a fight for survival. "Prepare for battle," Rena commanded. As the stronghold's defenses activated, Jace found himself thrust into the heart of the conflict. The attackers were swift, their technology ruthless. But the sisters fought, with determination and skill beyond human comprehension. Jace stood beside Talia, who moved with lethal grace. "Stay close," she warned. Amidst the chaos, Jace spotted a figure slipping through shadows, a traitor from within. He moved quickly, chasing the figure down dark corridors. The figure turned, and Jace froze. It was Lyra, the silver-haired sister. Her eyes were cold. "You don't understand," she said, voice shaking with emotion. "The pact will destroy us." Jace's mind reeled. "You're the traitor?" Lyra shook her head. "Not a traitor, a survivor." Before he could respond, alarms echoed again. Reinforcements had arrived. Jace helped Lyra to safety, his trust fractured but his resolve stronger. Back in the command chamber, the sisters debated fiercely. "We must find a new way," Lyra insisted. "The pact is a chain, not a bond." Arena's eyes blazed. "The pact is our lifeline. Without it we fall." Jace realized the sisters were as divided as their enemies outside. He stepped forward. "Maybe the answer isn't breaking the pact or holding it blindly. Maybe it's redefining it." The room grew silent. That night, Jace sat with Talia alone under the alien stars visible through the stronghold's transparent dome. "You were right," he said quietly. "There are dangers closer than I imagined." Talia nodded. "The pact binds us, but it also blinds us." Jace looked at her. "What do you want from me?" She smiled sadly. "To save us all." As dawn approached, a secret was revealed. In a hidden chamber beneath the stronghold, Jace discovered an ancient archive, records from centuries past. There, holographic images showed humans and Karith in alliance long ago, a forgotten bond. Broken by time and fear, the realization hit him hard. The marriage pact was not just tradition, but a desperate revival of a lost partnership. Cliffhanger as Jace absorbed the truth. An urgent message flashed across the room. Warning, breach detected. In Central Core, Jace's heart sank. The very heart of the stronghold and the secret to their survival was under attack. The heart under siege. The red warning lights flickered relentlessly, casting long shadows over the cold walls of the stronghold. "Commander." Jace Holden's breath came fast and shallow as he sprinted down the corridors toward the Central Core, the very heart of the Karith stronghold. The ancient holographic archives he had just discovered were brilliant, but they weren't the real prize. The core contained the genetic database, the key to restoring the Karith race, and it was now under threat. "Move faster!" Talia's voice crackled through his communicator. Jace rounded the corner, adrenaline surging. The distant sound of heavy footsteps echoed behind him. Intruders, rebels, the faction that had opposed the marriage pact. If they succeeded in destroying the core, it would be a catastrophic blow, not just for the sisters, but for the fate of the Karith species itself. He pushed open the heavy door to the core chamber and froze. The sight was devastating. The core's glowing energy field was flickering erratically, sparks flying as the control Panels lit up with error messages. Standing in the center was a hooded figure, manipulating the controls with swift precision. "Stop!" Jace yelled, raising his weapon. The figure turned slowly, and Jace's heart skipped. It was Naya, the cold, blue-eyed sixth sister. Her expression was unreadable. "You don't understand, Jace. The pact will enslave us." "No!" Jace took a cautious step forward. "Destroying the core will doom all of you." Naya's eyes flashed. "No! It will free us from this nightmare." Suddenly alarms blared louder. The room shook as the intruders breached the outer doors, flooding the chamber with enemies. Jace realized the fight was inevitable. The clash was brutal, but contained within the core chamber's tight space. Jace fought alongside the sisters, though his trust in them was crumbling. Arena's commanding voice cut through the chaos. "Protect the core at all costs." Talia was beside Jace, deflecting attacks with a grace that made her look otherworldly. Amid the fray, Jace saw Naya slip away, disappearing into a side tunnel. "After her!" Arena shouted. Jace and Talia gave chase. The narrow tunnels twisted and turned, lit only by faint alien glyphs etched into the walls. "Why, Naya?" Talia whispered fiercely. "Why betray us?" Jace's voice was tight with urgency. "Because she believes the pact kills the Karith soul." They paused at a junction, catching their breath. Suddenly, a hidden panel slid open, revealing a secret. Chamber bathed in blue light. Inside stood Naya, facing an ancient artifact pulsating with power. "You don't understand what this artifact is," Naya said without turning. "It can sever the pact's hold." Jace stepped forward cautiously. "And what then? What happens if you destroy it?" Naya finally turned, her eyes filled with determination. "We become free, not bound by human ties or ancient laws." Talia's voice cracked. "Freedom at the cost of extinction?" Naya didn't answer. Back in the core chamber, Arena fought fiercely, rallying the sisters and their allies. The rebel forces pressed hard, desperate to claim victory. The fate of the Karith hung by a thread. Suddenly the energy field stabilized. Jace's communicator buzzed. "Talia," Arena's voice came urgent. "We're losing ground. You and Jace must return now." Jace looked toward the secret chamber, but saw Naya was gone. The sisters regrouped in the command hall, battered but determined. Arena's gaze met Jace's. "We cannot let Naya destroy the pact." Jace nodded. "But what if she's right? What if the pact is more prison than protection?" The room grew heavy with silence. Then, the youngest sister, Talia, stepped forward. "There's something else you don't know," she said quietly. "About the pact, and about me." Jace's eyes narrowed. "What do you mean?" Talia's voice was barely a whisper. "The kiss, the bond we formed, it was only the beginning. There is a power inside me connected to that bond, a power that can either save us or destroy everything." Jace's heart pounded. "What kind of power?" Talia hesitated, then took his hand. "The kind that comes with a price." That night, Jace stood alone under the alien stars, the weight of impossible choices pressing down. If the pact was broken, the Karith would die. If it held, they might survive. But at what cost to their souls? His communicator buzzed softly. A message from an unknown sender. The words flashed on the screen. "The truth lies not in the stars, but in the human heart. Choose wisely." The hidden truth. The message haunted Jace as he paced the chamber, replaying the words over and over. "The truth lies not in the stars, but in the human heart. Choose wisely." Who could have sent it? Was it a warning, a threat, or something more? Talia approached quietly, her face shadowed by worry. "It's from an old ally, someone I thought was lost." Jace's eyes searched hers. "Tell me everything." Talia hesitated before revealing the secret she'd kept locked away. "The pact isn't just a tradition," she said. "It's a safeguard, built to protect a secret buried deep in our history. The human you kissed, that was the key too. Unlocking that secret, Jace's mind raced. What secret? She took a deep breath. The Carith's survival depends on a hybrid gene, part human, part alien, hidden within me. If the pact breaks, that gene dies. And so do we. Jace's heart pounded. So, your power is genetic, Talia nodded. And dangerous. If controlled, it can save us all. If unleashed recklessly, it could destroy everything. Suddenly the chamber door hissed open. Irina entered, her eyes sharp. "We've lost contact with the rebels' leader," she reported. "He vanished. After the attack," Jace frowned. "Could it be Naya?" Irina shook her head. "No, Naya was working alone." Talia's voice trembled. "Then who?" Jace's thoughts returned to the message. If it was from an old ally, maybe that ally was closer than they thought. He scanned the faces of the sisters, suspicion creeping in. "Is someone here hiding something?" he asked bluntly. The room went silent. Just then a sudden explosion shook the stronghold. Dust and debris rained down as emergency lights flashed. Jace grabbed Talia's arm. "We need to get to the core, now!" They rushed through the corridors, dodging falling rubble. At the core chamber, the damage was severe. The energy field was flickering dangerously. "We can't let it fail," Irina said, her voice fierce. Jace turned to Talia. "Can your power stabilize it?" She nodded, stepping toward the core. Talia placed her hands on the control panel, closing her eyes. A blue light radiated from her palms, spreading through the core. The flickering slowed, but then an unnatural shadow flickered at the edge of the chamber. Jace tensed. From the darkness emerged a figure, tall, cloaked in black. "You should not have come here," the figure said, voice cold. Jace recognized the face instantly. It was Dr. Kalen, the scientist who had accompanied them from Earth, presumed missing after the first attack. Dr. Kalen smiled cruelly. "I've been working with the rebels all along." Jace's mind reeled. "Why?" "Because your presence here threatens everything we've built," Kalen replied. "The Carith must evolve without human interference." Talia stepped forward. "You're betraying your own kind," Kalen laughed. "I'm saving them." The standoff was tense. Jace knew this confrontation would decide the fate of the pact, the sisters, and possibly both their species. Kalen raised a device, a small sphere pulsating with energy. "If I activate this, the core will overload. The pact will end." Jace's instincts kicked in. He lunged toward Kalen. A burst of light filled the chamber. When the light faded, Kalen lay unconscious. The device shattered. Talia collapsed, exhausted from channeling her power. Irina rushed to her side. "You saved us," Jace helped Talia up, but at what cost? In the quiet that followed, Jace looked at the sisters, their faces etched with pain and hope. This pact, it's more than law, it's survival, but survival means trust between us. Talia nodded weakly. "And love." Jace smiled softly. "Even in the darkest places." The pact's true power, the message on Jace's communicator burned in his mind. The greatest danger is yet to come. Trust no one. The weight of those words pressed on him as he stood before the seven sisters, each weary but resolute. "This is the final test," Irina said, her voice steady but heavy. "If we fail, both our worlds will suffer." Jace nodded. "Then let's face it together." The rebels, scattered but not defeated, had regrouped for a final assault. But Jace knew the battle wasn't only physical. It was about understanding, trust, and unity. In the war room, Talia's strength was waning, yet her determination burned brighter than ever. "I'll use my power to reinforce the core," she said, "but I need all of you, human and Carith, to channel your will with me." Jace looked around. He saw the sisters nod, ready to stand with her. Outside the stronghold, the rebels approached, weapons raised, eyes filled with anger and fear. Jace stepped forward to meet them, hands open in peace. "We're fighting the wrong enemy," he called out. "This pact is not a chain, it's a lifeline, A rebel commander sneered. "Your pact enslaves us." Jace's voice was calm but firm. "It saved us. The hybrid gene within Talia is proof. It's the future, not the end." Back inside, Talia concentrated, energy flowing from her into the core. The sisters joined hands, their voices rising in an ancient chant, a melody woven through generations. Jace closed his eyes, feeling the pulse of life, alien and human, intertwining. Suddenly the chamber filled with radiant light, washing away the shadows of doubt. Outside, the rebel forces hesitated, feeling the shift in the air. The leader stepped forward slowly. "Show me," he said quietly. Jace beckoned him. "Closer." Talia's voice echoed, now powerful and clear. "The pact is not about forced bonds or broken freedoms," she said. "It's about connection between us all." The rebel leader's eyes widened as the sisters revealed their unity, not chains, but choices made in hope. One by one, rebels lowered their weapons. The war ended not with violence, but understanding. In the days that followed, the Kareth and humans worked side by side, rebuilding trust and strength. Jace and Talia stood on a hill overlooking the stronghold, the twin suns setting behind them. "I never imagined this," Jace said softly. Talia smiled. "Neither did I. But sometimes the hardest journeys lead to the brightest futures." The lesson, the pact's true power was never in control or obligation. It was in empathy, courage, and the willingness to embrace the unknown. Jace realized that humanity's greatest strength was its heart, its ability to connect, forgive, and grow beyond fear. And in that connection, both worlds found a new beginning. End of story.